What did you think we were before you began to think of us as human beings?
Well, in a way, we thought of you almost as a very superior pet.
Well, I remember quite well how those polo children used to have to eat. They were fed in boxes and troughs under the house. They were fed cornmeal mush and beans. When this was poured into their box, they would gather around it, the same as we see pigs, horses, and cattle gather around troughs today.
When the Civil War ended in 1865, more than 4 million slaves were set free. By the late 1930s, 100,000 ex-slaves were still alive. In the midst of the Great Depression, the Federal Writers Project hired journalists and writers to travel the country and record the memories of this last generation of African Americans born into bondage. The Library of Congress is home to most of the slave narratives, a multi-volume collection of interviews with former slaves.
Do you think white people get almost double angry with white people who speak out?
I believe that the most threatening thing to a white supremacist is not a person of color, it's a white person who disagrees with them. Because white people listen to white people instinctively more than they listen to people of other races. And I think that that is true of all different kinds of intersections. Men listen to men easily in a way they don't listen to women. Straight people listen to other straight people in a way instantly that they don't listen to queer people.
So you think it's a power thing?
I think that if somebody has an agenda of trying to create a world in which black people are less or black people are like this, for white people to all agree with them with, the most threatening thing to them is a white person who goes, "You're wrong." Because that white person could make other white people think, oh, maybe he is wrong. Maybe black people aren't actually like this. Maybe it's not like that. Some of them aren't doing a project for trying to convince everybody that black people are worse. Some of them just have deep-seated, unacknowledged racism within themselves. They conceive of races as teams. My team is the white team. Dan, you're white, you're on my team.
Automatically.
And teams compete in sport.
Yeah.
So you need, as a white person, Dan, on the white team, we need to be working together to look after our team. If you say anything that criticizes white people, you are harming the white team's attempt to win, and you are strengthening another team's attempt to win. That is a fundamentally, subliminally racist conception of how race should be most important in the way that you build power and protect community.
My black brothers and sisters across this country, I'm sorry. I'm asking for your forgiveness because I see it. I see men like me rolling back the protections for equal employment rights that you fought centuries for. I saw it yesterday as we incarcerated a generation of your children and then profited off of their unfair sentences. I saw it in the history books as men who looked just like me imprisoned and shackled people who looked just like you and then built a nation off of the backs of your ancestors' labor. My seat at the table of privilege gives me the ability to easily ignore the scraps of food that fall on the floor that you have to fight for. Professional cowardice is a learned behavior, and because my rights are handed to me on a silver platter in this country, I can say and do whatever I want, which includes being complicit through silence and inaction. For too long, I've carried your cause in my heart and shook my head disapprovingly as the bad things happened, all the while knowing that I was going to be just fine. I can't do that anymore. And I'm not asking for praise or adoration.
These people have always seen black people as superior race. They've always seen them as the leader. They've always seen them as people of dignity, honor, despite everything that these said black people have been through, despite them using them as slaves, despite them committing so many various atrocities, right, that we already read and said in some of our videos. White people still see these black people as superior. Does that still stand now? Yes. You can argue it. It still stands. They still see black people as, these people are still, that is why they do not want to even give most of this black those chance for them to actually explore. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sonia and I'm back again with another mind-blowing video. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are good. If it's the first time tuning in, do subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. Thank you so much for always coming to support me. I really appreciate. Thank you for tuning in this particular video. I would really love to know your opinion in the comment section. And yes, with no further ado, let's dive right into this video. Credit belongs to the original creators of this video. And please note, this video is just for educational purpose. I stand a chance to be corrected where you think that I'm actually falling out. Correct me, and then I'll come back and get my correction. Let's dive right, and I'll be back with commentaries.
We need to have a talk. I would like to set the record straight. Back in March of 2025, there was an incident that involved 6 white students and 1 black student. And the school labeled it a racist harassment incident or a racial bullying incident. And since that time, an attorney Tim Anderson, who is also running for the Virginia State House of Delegates, conveniently enough, filed defamation lawsuits against the school saying that it was just a harmless birthday joke, and these 6 white kids, they have a very diverse friend group, and that they were friends and everybody just thought it was funny, and that the school overreacted and then has caused great harm to these white students. On July 3rd, I went to the courthouse and I got the documents, paid $78 for these documents. Anderson's claim that this incident was just a friends sharing a birthday joke is directly contradicted by the court documents that I received when I went down to the courthouse. And he's framing the accused students as victims of cancel culture, and he's ignoring the real victim, the student who endured the racial humiliation at school. He's saying that it was because of woke administrators and cancel culture that the white students are actually the real victims here. And what we can't allow politicians to do is reframe racism as like immaturity. The harm that was done to this student is real and it's lasting. And according to these documents, which I'll put right here for you, you can pause to read, the parents withdrew this child from that school after this incident. Also, it should be noted that the parents have not come out publicly or gone to the school and asked for the discipline decision that these students received to be reversed. So if they were friends and the victim, it was just a joke, why didn't they do that? According to the official investigation, the so-called birthday gifts included fried chicken, grape Kool-Aid, watermelon candy, and a girl's birthday card for a boy that had racist slurs in it, including Blackie Monkey and your favorite clan and what's up my beep. The victim reported that the bag contained black people food. Pretty racist. That's a quote by the victim. All 6 students admitted that the items were intended as a joke because they were racial stereotypes of black people. Witnesses confirmed the victim was pressured to read this birthday card with these racial slurs out loud to them in front of others. And the administration formally determined that the incident was bullying based on race, citing unwanted behavior intended to humiliate, racial slurs, and negative stereotypes that cause severe emotional trauma. For Tim Anderson to frame this as immature behavior and accuse school officials of being woke is not only dishonest, it's dangerous. It erases the very real harm endured by black students and undermines the fight against racism in our schools. I stand with the student who was targeted and all the students who deserve a safe, respectful learning environment. Our community should be holding local politicians accountable for weaponizing racism as a campaign stunt, because that's exactly what this is
the whole problem. And I'm sorry if you live there, and it is beautiful there. I lived in North Carolina for 5 years. Civil War, and they came up with an agreement for Reconstruction. They never punished the South. None of those guys went to jail. None of them got their wealth taken away. what they did to be kumbaya is they allowed them to be politicians again. And that's where all the Jim Crow shit came from. So that's what happens when you don't punish people. And if you're in the South, you know you're the whole problem.
Can you imagine living in a United States where racism no longer exists? Can you imagine racism being something that we look at in a museum like an ancient artifact or only read about in history books instead of being something that we see happening every single day? I know it might seem crazy to think about right now, but almost 20 years ago, many people thought that that day had arrived. When Obama was elected president in 2008, many people said that America had finally entered a post-racial age. They argued that now that the U.S. had elected a black president, race didn't matter as much as it used to, and racism was about to be defeated once and for all. However, these optimistic predictions didn't last long. As soon as Obama took the oath of office, hate crimes started to rise, and there was an explosion of far-right hate groups. Before Obama's victory, there was only a handful of right-wing militias, but afterwards that number went from dozens to hundreds. I saw this rise of hate groups firsthand. It was only a few days after Obama was elected when every family on my street got a strange letter in their mailbox. The letter was from a neo-Nazi hate group called the National Socialist Movement, and it said, "Missing, a legitimate president in America." The letter echoed Trump's birther conspiracy, saying that Obama had yet to produce a valid birth certificate, and asked how did he even get on the ballot. The letter went on to say, decades of Marxist indoctrination have taken its toll on white America. White children have been taught to feel guilty about who and what they are. That only whites are racist and must be more progressive in their thinking. That multiculturalism and diversity are good for them, and the only way to atone for the sins of their ancestors. Now, you know what's really scary? The language used by this neo-Nazi hate group in 2009 is the exact same language that Trump and his government officials use today. Just last month, Trump's White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said, President Trump has fought the cancerous communist woke culture that was destroying this country. As we close the Department of Education and provide funding to states, we're going to make sure these funds are not being used to promote communist ideology. Miller said that the Trump administration is fighting to get critical race theory out of our school districts, which teaches children to hate themselves and to hate their country. He said that from now on, children will be taught to love America. Children will be taught to be patriots. By comparing the language of that hate group in 2009 and the Trump administration today, it's clear who and what really won the presidency in 2016 and 2024: racism. In fact, if we return to this letter from that hate group in 2009, we'll see that everything they were saying then is what Trump and his officials are saying now. This letter promoted straight-up lies, such as, illegals parade through our streets demanding amnesty. They murder 12 U.S. citizens a day. The letter also said, a white woman is assaulted by a black man every 9 minutes. That should sound familiar. That is exactly the same kind of rhetoric that Trump and other government officials have used for years to drum up fear against immigrants and people of color. Even though we know that all of this racist rhetoric is built on lies. That letter from 2009 ended with a familiar phrase too, America for Americans first. The fact that the same language that neo-Nazis used in 2009 is being used by Trump and his government today proves that Obama's election did not usher in some beautiful and utopian post-racial age. Instead, what happened was a racist backlash that gave rise to Trump and is taking the country back to its darkest days of white supremacy.
This is where we're at now. So these people are getting bolder with their racism, aren't they? Even though she's deleted it now, the user who posted it, The fact is, they were brave enough to post it in the first place. So they're no longer hiding their racism. So this isn't even about illegal immigrants or asylum seekers or migrants. This is just hate for anyone who's not white, basically. Because everybody knows what blackface is, right? And what it means, what it connotes. Everyone knows what it is. We're all adults. So full-grown adults sat around, did that, painted their face. None of them could say, oh no, this is not good. All right, so we're private. And then they posted it publicly on TikTok. Obviously, they wanted the world to know how racist they are, because there's no way they'd say, oh, we don't know, it's not this or that. We know what it is. They're not stopping at filming innocent people who aren't white going about their day working, as with the 2 healthcare workers that were filmed for no reason, helping a child. The black grandfather who were playing in the playground with his white grandkids, taking that video and making it out of context. Now they're actually posting themselves in blackface. Ha ha ha. We see you. You can't lie. You can't deny. You can't gaslight. We see you.
You see, this is why I usually do applaud white people that will actually come out here and speak about racism. I usually do applaud white people that will come out here and own it up to their chest and be like, this is not our place. This is not our land. You people should just let these people have their peace of mind. This is why I always come out here to applaud even the white people that will come out and be like, oh, we are sorry for what our people is doing to you, and so on and so forth. It is to that height, it is to that point. And I just hope that a lot of people will learn from this, because in as much as a lot are actually learning, some will not learn. You can see from one of the clips that I played for you guys, where this white racist is actually rubbing black in his face and then trying to mimic the black people. And this is now becoming like a trend. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that even black people are not racist, right? I think I've said that in one of my videos where I talked about, the video I talked about, do you think black people can actually be racist as well? I expatiated more in that particular video, because some blacks, yes, they can. But the only thing is, out of 100% of whites, 80 to 70% are racist. And of which is really bad, because these people have already programmed and have seen you as a black person that you are superior. If they give you the chance for you to explore, you can change $1 to trillions. So the only thing is, they don't want to give you the opportunity. They want you to stay inside and let them take the praises of having every single thing that you are working out for. And then they give you peanuts and tell you, thank you for coming. You understand? The beautiful part about this generation now that I'm so grateful to God is a lot of people are speaking out. A lot of people are saying, we already know our words. You can change it. Even if you're trying to bury it, even if you're trying to erase it, even if you're trying to make it look like as if we are lazy, we know who we are. You are nothing without us, right? This is just for educational videos. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because I know that a lot of you have something to say in the comment section. Please, let's discuss more in the comment section, and I really, really do appreciate that. Every single videos I bring here, it is not to manipulate anybody. It is not to make anybody have issues. It is just for me and you to learn. That's why I keep saying in all of my videos that I stand a chance to be corrected where you think I am wrong, right? And I always give credit to every single creators that do what to create this video. And thank you so much for staying stick open to the end of this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, why? Please hit on that subscribe button for great content like this. Black people, it is well. With no further ado, I'm going to Simba and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. I love you guys. Mwah.